Hello, sweet people. I hope you guys are doing good today. The weather is a lot nicer, and it allowed me to come out to one of my favorite spots. I just wanted to see what the beach looked like during this time where the weather is kind of in between. Still snow and ice out, but it's kind of warm enough to go for a walk. So let me show you guys a little bit. Look at that. So there's still snow and ice just between the sand and the water. And there's a couple of people out here with me off and on. But before I start talking about what I wanted to tell you guys about, I wanted to plug my book. Get your digital copy as soon as you can, From Stuck to Free. A practical guide to leaving your 9-to-5 job and finding true freedom. If you're feeling stuck, unhappy at your toxic 9-to-5 job, afraid to leave, don't know what steps to take, check out my new eBook. This is so beautiful. Let me turn the camera back around. I love the clouds. The clouds are so powerful. Okay, guys. So I'm going to walk in the other direction. So I've been realizing something over the years, but it's really solidified in my mind recently. Look at this. Sorry, it's fascinating. So I have always diagnosed myself with PTSD because I had a lot of trauma surrounding my mother's multiple illnesses. She died at 83. Was she 83? 83. And the last 30 years, I would say 30 years of her life, she was sick. All kinds of medical emergencies and illnesses, you name it, she had it, I feel like. High blood pressure, diabetes, kidney failure, just all kinds of things were happening to her. And she was having a lot of medical emergencies at one point for some years. And I, out of her 5 children, adult children, was the one that was around for a few years when she was having these medical emergencies. And as a result, I was traumatized. I was scared, just super scared. And it made me scared of any type of medical emergency with anyone. So you could pass out around me and then I would be terrified. I worked as a public safety officer for almost 30 years. And around the time she was having these medical emergencies, I would be at work and someone would have a medical emergency and I would freeze. I would be around people that had seizures and heart attacks, and I just was so terrified. I would have to leave the area. So, all of that as a result of my mom's medical emergencies. I didn't even want to be around her. Um, and I started pulling away from her as a result of that. And plus, our relationship was kind of, there was some healing that needed to be done. So, it wasn't hard for me to move away from her the sicker she got. So as the years went by, I would just start doing short visits with her because I didn't want to be around to witness any more medical emergencies. Oh, it was terrible. So close to the time that she died, maybe a year before, I just started crying. I just started crying. I was saying, I don't want to be like you. I'm going to be like you. I'm scared. I was just going crazy. And she was so sad and sympathized with me. And she said, you're going to be okay. You'll do good. You do good. You're vegan and you really trying to be healthy. And she tried to kind of create the differences between me and her behavior, our behavior, health-wise. She would say, well, you're doing all this for your health, and I didn't do any of that, so you're going to be okay. I was like, no, 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 I'm going to be like you. Because I had started seeing symptoms already, signs and symptoms that were very similar to my mother's illnesses. The main one was I would go to the doctor for different things, checkups or whatever, or tiny issues. And they would always say, your blood pressure is a little high, If it's not any better, the next time you come back, we want to put you on high blood pressure medication. I was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. Because my mom had 30 different medications, a bag of medications. She had to tote around to the doctors, and it was just a mess. And she would even say, I'm just a guinea pig. They're just experimenting on me, especially when she had to go to dialysis. She was so miserable and depressed a lot of times. Not all the time, but a lot of times, And she would say things like, I'm just a mess, and I would say, stop saying that. Don't say that. You're going to make it so, And she was just a lost cause in that category, And I watched that and I just was so scared, terrified that I was going to be like her for years. And I would vow to myself, I'm not taking any medications. I had started even not liking doctors. I'm still like that to this day. I don't like to go to the doctor. I felt like not being stupid and just not going to the doctor and not doing anything about my health, just staying away from doctors. No, I wasn't going to do that, but I was going to take my own health in my own hands, take charge of my health. And so my journey many years ago was all about that, being this health nut, I would do different detoxes and cleanses and fasting, and I would lose weight, clear my system, blood pressure good again. Then I would go back to eating junk food, and Then I would do another cleanse, 21-day cleanse, 14-day fast, water fast, 8-day water fast, juice fast. You name it, I've done it. All the diets I've done, you name it, I've done it. And I would gain the weight right back. So it's been for many, many years an up and down battle with my health. So that means up and down in the blood pressure. Blood pressure good for some months. Then maybe when I get back on the food or junk food again, then it'll teeter-totter up and down again, So I would experience symptoms of high blood pressure, then stress from life, from the job for one. And what I realized, I'm really realizing it now today, is that when you're afraid of something so much, you're so afraid of it, you can manifest the very thing that you fear. Now, I had heard that for many years, but I didn't care. I was so scared. I was too scared. I couldn't see clearly. I was too scared. I was traumatized. PTSD. And I didn't care. I was hearing that from different YouTube videos, or I might read a book that says it, and I would just throw that out the window because I was so scared of being sick and ending up like my mom and having some of the same illnesses that she had. But guess what? I manifested a lot of the symptoms and an illness that my mom had, high blood pressure. I still refuse to take meds for high blood pressure or anything else. I have become more militant, more of a radical health nut in order to stay away from meds and in order to have any of the illnesses that my mom had or that my family has. And it's been a struggle. I'm still struggling. I'm still struggling. So one day I cried. I had gained, hope you guys can hear me. I had gained about 10 pounds, maybe 12. I'm always up and down in my weight because of the eating, struggling, Even when I went vegan, I'm still struggling in veganism, eating the processed foods and stuff. I'm still trying to come out of that. So one day I cried and I asked God, what is it going to take for me to get to the health level and the fitness level that I want, that I dream of? I didn't get an answer right away. But eventually, I have to let go of the fear, is the lesson, the message that I got. Once I dropped the fear, and that sounds so simple and easy, doesn't it? Let go of the fear. But letting go of the fear of being sick like my mom and having illnesses like my mom is going to require me to surrender. Almost just let everything go. Just let everything go. All my ideas of being healthy I have to let go at some point. I just don't know in what way to let go. I for damn sure don't want to let go and just let everything fall and just surrender to the illnesses. I don't want to do that. Is that what it's going to take? I don't know. So my favorite thing to do is meditations. So I've been meditating on releasing fear. And I've been meditating on self-love. So I could approach this thing, this health thing, my health, I could approach it in a sensible and comfortable manner where I'm not afraid that anything is going to happen to me. And I'm just taking care of myself and I'm loving myself in a comfortable, maybe even a fun way. So I just wanted to give you guys an example of how being afraid, fear, can help make you to manifest something that you just don't want, the very thing that you fear. You can manifest it. That's like the dark side of manifestation. And I have other examples as well of how I was so afraid of something, it actually happened. Like when I first got into van life, I traveled alone in my van to Georgia because I wanted to go to this event called the Black Nomads Meet, where there were a whole bunch of black folks that were doing the same thing that I was doing, living in their vans, their RVs, their SUVs, and they were traveling the world and working digitally. One of my biggest fears is getting lost. I get lost here in Illinois. So traveling to another state, I was terrified because I'm directionally challenged, as I like to say. I don't know north, south, east, and west. I don't know. Especially if I get somewhere unfamiliar, it's over. And so I was terrified of getting lost. And I was doing good. I was following the GPS. And I'm riding on the expressway, doing just fine, listening to the music, proud of myself, but still scared. And lo and behold, traffic starts slowing up. And there were about 30 state police officers blocking the roadway and saying, everybody off the expressway, everybody off, road closures, detours, 11 miles east. You have to drive 11 miles east in order to get anywhere. So that threw me off and it threw the GPS off and I was done. But yeah, so that happened. Your fears can make you manifest the very thing that you don't want. So the best thing to do when you're afraid is to know that you are a creator. You are God. You have God powers. from the Most High, from the Creator. You have those powers to create. Look what I created from fear. So knowing that, let's do a reverse creation and create the very thing that we want, not the thing that we don't want. And that takes daily practice. Practice at knowing that you are a creator. You are source. You are God. Manifest what you want and not what you don't want. I love you guys. Give you guys a look at the lake once more. I love you guys so much. Love, 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 love to you today. Sending you guys so much love. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. And may you be happy.